I'm Anjali S. I am a student of sixth semester of electrical engineering in RVC.
Okay.
So this semester we have a course called Principles of Management and Economics, and a part of the course is interview, ma'am, which we want to keep. So in this interview, we want to understand what are the principles of management of different levels, like manager, VP, AVP. And we also want to understand your strategies for planning and decision making, leadership, how you enhance the collaboration in your team.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So this is what we want to do, and I really thank you for your time. So if you're comfortable, we can
Oh,
start the interview.
yes, we can.
Okay. So, firstly, I want to know that will have many goals over your time. So, how do you manage your short term, medium term, and your long term goals in your everyday timetable?
So the one thing that in terms of goal, you need to set a real-time target. It's not like if I wanted to be a VP, let's just say I just joined an organization and my ultimate goal is I wanted to become a VP and it can't be done in a year or 2 years of time. So I
Yes.
need to understand the fact that what are the steps to go to that level and what skills I need to upskill myself to get to that position. So, in order to become a VP or an AVP position, firstly, I need to understand what is happening in the ground level as a normal staff, and then getting into the management position, the basic level of PL or a manager level, and then understanding the roles and responsibilities of a team leader or the manager, as you said, and then understand the roles of AVP. What are the skills that are mainly required for each and every role? Yeah. And as I said, it can't be done overnight. So you have to start working from day one and you need to understand what are the skills that you require to get there. Setting a goal is important as equally as you need to understand the fact what are the skills that are required for that role. So for me, I have joined HSBC as an investigator and it's been almost 7 years now. Throughout my journey, I've started as an associate in HSBC, and within 2 years, I got promoted as a senior associate, and then as an AMO, and then now as a manager. One thing is change is constant, as we all say. You need to continuously upgrade yourself. The ground level, whatever work you do, it cannot help you in the management level. And when you're working on the ground level, it's only about your own self and your own performance. But coming to the management, you need to handle different people with different mindsets, different attitudes, and you never know how people will take it, right? Not everyone can take the same thing in a positive way. Some people will take it in a negative. People will have some attitude issues and all these things. So you need to understand how to mold them.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's the key. That's the key to first thing to get the acceptance from your own team is a big thing for a management position because not everyone can be a leader. People can get promoted as a leader, but see, even for a team leader, they'll have their own way of dealing with things. Some people will follow the ruling policy, like they will say something and you need to follow it. That's how it works for some. But for some people, they can't do the ruling part. They can be friendly with the team at the same time, they can achieve the required things, whatever the team has to done, they can get it done. And I feel ruling is something that doesn't help you all the time because when we also came from the same ground level, right? So we know the pain and we know the hard work that they put in. But at the same time, you need to be strict at times. You cannot be a friendly manager all the time. In terms of work, be a strict manager and try to get the work done and explain them the scenario rather than ruling. Explain them the situation, and then definitely people will understand. If you're trying to rule someone, they're not a slave or servant, right? So you need to explain them properly so that, okay, this is what is required for me to upgrade myself. Then, yes, definitely people will understand. And then things will fall in place, I would say.
Yes, ma'am. So now you've told how your job role has changed from a lower position to a
Yes.
manager. And you've also said, as a manager, what are your roles and how you understand the psychology of your teammates. So I
Yeah,
also
and
want
this
to
one, if you
understand.
ask me,
Yes, ma'am. So,
yeah, yeah, then,
being a manager, I'm sure your company will give you certain long-term and some short-term goals. So, I want to understand how you manage both of them, plan both of them in advance, in your on your everyday basis.
okay. For me, as of now, I'm a manager of operations in HSBC, and my long-term goal is to be a VP. That is clear from my perspective. From the beginning, I'm clear that I wanted to be a VP or a senior management level positions. I wanted to achieve that. And for that, the one focus is apart from your daily day-to-day work. Okay, for us, it's almost 9 hours of work, including 1 hour of break time. So in that 8 hours of time, I'll ensure I'm clearing my work, whatever responsibilities that I have as of now as a manager. I'll ensure I'm clearing that within 5 hours or 6 hours of time. And the rest 2 hours I'll use to upgrade my skills to be an AVP next. That is the next level for me. So whatever skills that I require, I'll try to utilize the 2 hours of it. See, as I told you, you cannot just prepare for an AVP or a VP role just in a day or 2 days, right? So you need to give the time at least on every day. And with the schedules that we have, with every day 9 hours of work, you cannot be compromise on your personal time as well. So rather than compromising on your personal time, if you understand your current responsibilities and your current work, you can manage your time well. And by managing your time, you will get some additional time in that 8 hours, which you can utilize to upskill the skills that are required. And somewhere I feel in the management position, I would say you will always find the conflicts. It's not easy to convince everyone around. And it's not just only the team under you and even your manager level also. You need to understand their perspective and you need to convey the same to your subordinates and you have to convince everyone here. And it's definitely not an easy task.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And throughout my journey, I still feel I require more of that conflict management.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll move on to the next concept, which I want to understand. So
Yeah.
I'm sure your company will give you weekly or monthly targets to complete, and you will have
Yes.
to assign work to your subordinates. So how, in this decision-making process, what are the key factors that you have to look at before making any decision?
Okay. Basically, that's actually capacity planning with the staff, how many we have on the ground and how much work do we have to complete. For us, it's actually 60 days timeline that we have to complete all the work that we get. Okay. In order to complete that 60 days, we can plan it in 2 ways. First thing is how many resources do I have to complete this work? Or the second one is how many days I have and how many resources do I need to complete this? It's all about the timelines, right? When I say it's a 60 days timeline, we usually start when the age is actually around 20 or 30. So already half of the time is gone for us. So it's only 30 to 40 days of time that we have. And in these 30 or 45 days of time, we have to understand if we have people who are going on long leave, and you will find some emergency leaves. You cannot predict all this, right? So leaving the shrinkage apart, you need to plan your work and you need to distribute the work among everyone that are available. And you have to make them understand because if someone is on leave for entire week, that person's work is a burden for all of them, right? And people will be in a thought process that, yes, I'm done with my work or done with my daily work. People will be in that impression, but you need to make them understand there is someone who has gone for an emergency leave or who is going on a medical leave or some leave. And we have to distribute that work and everyone has to take that responsibility equally, and that's how we convince them.
Okay, ma'am.
Maybe not everyone will agree and not everyone will be okay to spend more additional time, or because it's their personal time and you cannot force someone to work in their personal time, right? But majority of the times, 80 to 90% of the people will be okay to share the burden. Here and there, one, two people will be there, exceptions, and people will be okay to share their work as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's how we actually plan.
Okay, ma'am. So now I want to know, being a manager, what are the skills that you require? Like, I am an engineer and I'm sure I have a different set of skills than you. So if I want to become a manager or a AVP or a VP, what are the skills that I will require to, be,
Hmm. To be in the management position
yes.
in Fiscal. Okay. For me, any management level position, irrespective of manager or VP or AVP, I feel three skills that are mainly required is one is definitely communication, and the other one is people management or the stakeholder management. And the third one is your understanding skills. Communication, see, it's, as I said, you will find different mentality people, different kinds of people in your team. But how the way you communicate that matters. To get something done from their end, you need to explain them the way they should be convinced. It's not like I'm giving you an order and you have to do it. No. You have to convince them and you have to make them understand the importance of the things that you have. And that is only possible with your communication. That's the key. And in terms of people management, it's also similar to the communication part. But again, managing stakeholder management is not only about your subordinates, even your managers and your business partners also. You need We need to understand what are their requirements. I mean, in terms of stakeholders, what are their requirements? Sometimes, though I said our timeline is 60 days, sometimes we will get the timeline of 45 days with some other work along with some other work. So we need to understand the stakeholders' requirement and we have to make them understand also. It's not only whatever they are saying, you will accept it. No, you have to think about your team also. If stakeholder is giving you some work and if you think it cannot be done with the current staff that you have, you need to go back and tell them and convince them as well. It's not only the team who will have to take the pain all the time. You have to go back to your management and you have to make them understand, okay, you are giving me this work, but sorry, this cannot be possible. Give me one more additional day or two more additional days. These are the resources I have. And if you want me to complete this on time, I need extra resources. So you have to explain them the reason or the analysis of the issue that is going on right now.
Yes, ma'am.
And the last thing is as I said, it's a continuous learning process. Every day, here and there, you will get some or the other update on the work that you're doing. And we need to ensure that we are upgrading ourselves with the new updates and implementing the same in our work. It's not like we are learning and leaving it. And you need to ensure that your team is also implementing the same update that has come recently. And they are implementing the same thing in their work. We need to ensure that. So learning is also a key, I would say.
Yes, ma'am.
So for
Ma'am,
me, these three are top qualities.
okay. Ma'am, I
Yeah.
remember initially in the interview, you mentioned that your team members will have different attitudes and you will have to find a way to manage them. So, when you want to motivate your team members to achieve a certain goal, which your higher ups have given you, so how would you motivate your team members and also in a positive mindset? How would you create that environment for them?
Okay. To that question, See, as I told you, you will have different mindsets of people, but again, the way you communicate to them is the key. And for the people with a little bit of attitude issues, what you can do is you need to understand their perspective and you need to understand their requirement first. What are they planning to do? What are their goals? What they wanted to achieve in the company or throughout their journey? And the only thing is you need to support them in achieving that. And trust me, if you are giving that support to achieve their goals, they will do their work. They'll be ready for whatever work you give. It's not only this, whatever work you give, they will do it without saying enough. But you need to
Okay.
show it's not about your own growth. Along with you need to show the path for your team to grow.
Okay, ma'am.
That is also important.
Okay, ma'am. I'm sure till now you would have come across many conflicts within your team. So,
Yes.
how would you try to, balance out between the conflicts and the timeline, the deadlines, and try to achieve your goal?
Yes. So as I said, personally, I am only 7 years or 8 years of tenure. I have only 7 to 8 years of tenure in HSBC. But I used to manage people who are 10, 15 years, who has this 10, 15 years of tenure within HSBC. So when you compare the seniority, people will have that kind of mentality like she has just joined and comparatively less tenure than me. Why should I obey to whatever she says? People will have that kind of mentality, right? But as I said earlier, for them, if you want something to be done from them, then you have to show them, okay, this is what I'm planning for. This is how I'm planning for your growth. So you need to show that growth options and you need to explain them how important that particular work is to prove them that they are capable of going for the next level. I hope you're getting my point.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
So if you are explaining them how important that work is to go to the next level or for them to aspire in their careers, then people will understand. But it's just a matter of time again.
Okay, ma'am. So being a manager, what do you expect from your subordinates in terms of performance, collaboration, and innovation? To get ahead, I'm sure innovation is a key aspect in any company. So how would you extract these from your subordinates, and what do you expect in terms of these?
So, in terms of innovation, the only thing is you need to allow your team to talk to you openly. It's not like being a manager, they shouldn't be scared of you. Rather than they should explain whatever is happening in their mind, irrespective. Not everyone is okay to share their personal things also. But if you can give that comfort level, people will open up more and people will explain things more. If, let's just say, if I have some improvement idea or some innovative idea that can help everyone in a better way, firstly, I should be open to listen to them. Rather than saying you're just an associate, don't tell me all these things. I should be open-minded to hear. And if I really think that is working and it will help everyone around us, then we can take it forward together. So you need to give that leverage or you need to give that space to your team to talk to you openly or to be friendly with you. So that will help.
Okay, ma'am. So when you said you have to be open to your teammates' ideas, so how would you take these ideas up to your higher ups? Because they are the ones who implement it finally, right?
Yes. So for especially for HSBC, you have an idea hub where you can submit your ideas, but you need to get an approval from your manager first. So if one of my teammate is approaching recently, I think last year towards November or December, I had one of my team member who has come up with an idea and we went to that idea hub team and we reached out to them. And again, they will validate whether it is going to help everyone around us or whether it's costing us more, but there is no such benefits it's not worth to spend so much of money and investing on that particular idea. They will do their analysis and they will come back to you if it is worth and validated. They will come back to you and they will take your help from there. The only thing is we need to submit our idea in the idea hub.
Okay.
And that actually even ground level staff can also do that on their own, but it's just that they need to get an approval. If every staff can update it on the site directly and you will get thousands of ideas, it will be tough for them to filter it out. Right?
Correct, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
So that's how it works for us.
Okay. Finally, I want to ask you, what is the impact of an MBA or any higher education in this field, and how has it helped you? How has it given you a competitive edge over others who haven't
Frankly, I have done
studied
only
this?
my BTech.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. For me, I have completed only my BTech. I haven't done my master's or MBA or MCA, whatever it is. I haven't done my master's. I'm a
Okay.
BTech graduate only.
Okay.
See, in terms of people who have done MBA or other higher educations, it's all about how you prove. Not everyone, see, irrespective of how much you have studied, if you are good at your work, if you are good at your communication, if you can make things happen, I think that's most important than what you have studied. And matter of fact, we all know whatever we study in BTech or whatever we study in college, that's only partly used here. Or the skills that whatever we gain through our education, it's not entirely, we are not using it entirely in our jobs that we do on a daily basis, right? So it's all about how you learn faster or how you communicate or how you get things done. That's the most important thing. Irrespective you have an MBA or all these things, I don't think that matters so much because my career is as actually an example comparatively. I have people who have done MBA in my team, but still, it's all about how you perceive it.
Yes, ma'am. I also agree with you on that. Yes, ma'am. I want to just wind up this by saying that your department will have some long-term goals. So, what is the future for the vision for your department, and what you would like to achieve, and how would you align it with the company's broader goals?
See, to be open to this question, I recently moved to this department. It's been only 4 or 5 months for me. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So even I'm still in the learning process. So we have both compliance and we have transaction monitoring as two different departments so far. But as of now, we are combining both and we are trying to make a compliance team where you will work for multiple regions as a bank.
Okay.
So we are in the process of merging all these two departments for now, and maybe it might take another 1 year or 1.5 years to get everything aligned to the compliance team that we are looking for.
Okay.
So as of now, this is what I can say for that question.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I think we are done with the interview. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sure I've learned a lot and I've gotten a great insight in your
Thank
role
you.
and in your work. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.